I just wanted to say some things because I see people posting stuff, and I feel like it's out of ignorance, and I feel like if you don't know what you're talking about, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Um, People have different opinions on the riots, the looting, and they sit there and say, "Oh well, how's that helping your cause? You're destroying your own neighborhood." Things like that. When you sitting there saying, "How does it help your cause?" You're spewing out racist rhetoric without even knowing it, because that's what they're saying when they look at us all the time. Oh, typical black people, they're always looting, they're always destroying their own neighborhood, they're not doing anything, they're not going to bring any justice to themselves. How is that helping their cause or whatever? You're sitting there saying the same stuff as them, all right? Um, then let's go back into a little bit of history. Now, you want to talk about riots, whatever. Let's talk about the Boston Tea Party. That was a riot. That was a revolutionary cause, or what have you. That's in history books. People sit there and don't frown their face up to that. You had the Stonewall riots. Stonewall riots got gay people rights. You have the suffrage riots that gave women rights. You have riots that sat there and gave us 8 hour days, 8 hour work days, unions, things like that, or whatever. So that's what you have to think about when you think of the context of riots and saying that it doesn't help your cause, it's only making things worse, so on and so forth. You have to sit there and think about these things, all right? Also, I made a post on Facebook about, if you don't know about Shirley Chisholm, you don't know about Assata Shakur, you don't know about what happened May 13th, 1985 in Philly, if you don't know about these things, then be quiet about the nonviolence. And the reason why I said that is there's always a reason why I post things. I don't post much. I mostly share things on Facebook. But the reason why I said that is because to know why this is happening, why people are angry, you have to know the context of African American history. You got to know the context of slavery. You got to know that this comes from a place of us being nonviolent and still them being violent to us. This comes from a place of sitting there trying to have a family, trying to work or what have you, getting drugs pushed into your neighborhood and feeling that the only way you can sit there and take care of your family is to sit there and sell drugs. Then you wind up in the prison industrial complex or whatever. This was a system that was set up against us. It was never for us. And it was set up and designed specially for us, all right? So you have to take a lot of things into context before you sit there and want to get on Facebook talking about, oh, why people riot and y'all destroying your own neighborhoods. Let me talk about the neighborhoods for a second. Excuse the dog. That ain't my dog. I don't do dogs. But anyway, let's talk about neighborhoods for a second. We don't really have neighborhoods. The places we live, none of that stuff is owned by us. None of it. We don't own none of the stores. We don't have businesses in no neighborhoods or what have you. You know what I'm saying? And usually when they do these riots, when they targeting Target or whatever, Target ain't ours. And Target will be rebuilt with insurance. I don't give a damn about no goddamn Target. Fuck Target. Fuck all these white businesses or what have you. I try to promote black business as much as possible. In fact, there's supposed to be a blackout. I can't remember the date. I think it's June 7th or July 7th. And I think everybody should participate or what have you. I think we should sit there and not spend our dollars as much as possible with these white people. Spend it with black people. In fact, I'm wearing a black-owned shirt, Soul Bounce. Check them out. Soul.bounce. They're on Instagram or what have you. Another one you should check out is melanin underscore queens underscore boutiques. Check them out. Oh, thank you. Thank you. July 7th it is. Forgive me, I'm like at a loss for words right now. Judy. But yeah, I think we should sit there and participate that, and on top of that, we should sit there and engage with black owned companies more. So we have a dollar. You know what I'm saying? Our dollar goes further, or what have you. And you know what? They don't hear us with the peaceful protests. You know what I'm saying? They care about dollars. So hit them in their pocket or what have you. And all they know is violence. So I don't even sit there and condemn the looters and whatever. I don't condone violence or what have you, but I'm not going to sit there and condemn the looters and the rioters, because enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing the peaceful stuff. We've been doing the peaceful stuff. They don't care. They don't care. Even in the Martin Luther King days, they were sitting there peaceful and they still got water hoses turned on them, dogs biting them, or what have you. They still got killed, lynched, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So don't talk about that peaceful stuff. Don't talk about stuff when you don't know what you're talking about. All right? That's just, I just had to get on and say that stuff because, you know, people, they they react off of emotions, they post off of emotions, and my motto is always logic over emotions. I mean, yeah, logic over emotions. That's always my thing. You know what I'm saying? Because when you act off emotions, you tend to say the wrong things. You're gonna do the wrong things or what have you. If you act logical, you can strategize. You can plan. You can plot. You know what I'm saying? You could sit there and get people together to try to find solutions, you know? And he said they just hit the protesters with a damn car. Where? Well, wow, that's crazy. But I forgot my thoughts. But you have to be careful of what you say or whatever, because a lot of times when you sit there and say certain things, you're spewing out racist rhetoric, and they want you to be on their side. They want you to sit there and say that. You know what I'm saying? That's like, you know, they always bring up Chicago. They don't give a damn about no Chicago, but that's always their talking point when this comes up. Well, what about Chicago? You care about cops killing you, but what do you care about with your own killing your own? There's so many deaths in Chicago, because that's their talking point. So I feel like when you're sitting there saying, well, how does it help your cause? You're sitting there saying, well, what about Chicago? Oh yeah, yeah, you bring up a good point, Judy. I was gonna sit there and speak on that. I forgot about that. Yeah, some of the people that's starting the violence or what have you, they're paid. They're paid. They're undercover cops and so on and so forth. So they could sit there and blame it on the black people. They're profiting. You said NYPD drove a car into really? The police drove a car into the protesters? Wow. Wow. And you know, that's another thing with the cops too. You know, I've always had a certain feeling about cops, you know, because going back to when I was a teenager, I used to go outside this, not too far out the neighborhood I grew up in, and every time I go to a certain spot, I get stopped and frisked or whatever. I fit the description. Now I'm a teenager, and this is happening to me. No matter what day it was, you know, what I was wearing, I fit the description. You know what I'm saying? So from there, I had a certain depiction of cops. Then fast forward to me being older, I walked through Harlem, You know what I'm saying? Most of the time I'm getting stopped and frisked or what have you. One time I'm in the middle of a conversation. I couldn't even sit there and stop my conversation. I couldn't even tell them I call them back properly because they running up on me to search me or what have you. You know what I'm saying? So cops have never been on my good list. You know what I'm saying? And I know people have family that's cops, and and people say, well, not all cops is bad. Okay, fine, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But they're getting overwritten by these bad cops. And if you're sitting there standing by and letting the bad cops do whatever they're doing, you're just as bad. So I really don't want to hear that good cop stuff. I really don't want to hear the good cop stuff. And I can't believe, people, black and brown, whatever, wanting to be a cop, talking about making a difference. It's not. It doesn't work that way because they have a blue code. They have a blue wall, a blue code wall, or whatever you want to call it. They have that, and they're not gonna let you in, and they're not gonna let you break that down. The whole system has to be torn down and rebuilt for a lot of things to change. Yeah, they do hate educated black people, especially if you know your rights. They look at you like you got two freaking heads. If you sit there and you tell them that they can't do certain things, and you even, especially if you sit there and call out penal codes and stuff like that, they'll look at you like you crazy. They look at you like you're crazy. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that. So I mean, I just had to sit there and speak on the things that I'm seeing, my opinion on the cops, my opinion on the looters and the rioters, what have you. Yeah, I mean, we've been taught so many years that don't argue back with them, don't respect them, make sure they see your hands or whatever. But plenty of times that has happened. They have followed that protocol, and it still happened. You know what I'm saying? If a racist cop want to do something, they're gonna do it, regardless. You can be respectful as you want to be. You know, they're just gonna do it. You know, so it's a lot of factors and a lot of layers and what have you. I'm just I just want to get to some kind of solution, but the problem is, you know, people talk and then they don't follow through, or you have people who just want to be entertained. They just want to be entertained. They don't want to listen to nothing like this. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to respond to certain posts or what have you. They might even agree with it, but they'll scroll past it. They won't comment. They won't share or what have you. So I'm speaking to them, and I might not reach to a lot of people, but that's not really my point. I don't do this for likes. I never post for likes. I never post for comments or what have you. I grew up, I never was the popular guy. So it's not about popularity. I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't say what I say, and I mean what I say. I don't take back what I say. So I just wanted to sit there and say that maybe I might come back on. Maybe I might do a Facebook Live. I don't know. But thanks for tuning in with me, whoever tuned in with me, and have a good day.